This week on Big Boys TV, I'm on my first archery elk hunt in Nevada. Then we finish this week's episode back in our hometown where we start guiding our Michigan elk hunters. If you missed the show last week, I was successfully able to shoot my first antelope in Nevada.
We are having antelope backstrap, and they're going to be like they're from heaven.
That night we had antelope for dinner, celebrated the victory, and headed to bed because in the morning our elk hunt would begin. After shooting my bow and making sure everything was on, we headed out for our first morning of elk hunting. It didn't take long to find our first group of elk. We just had our first encounter with a decent bull. Not quite big enough for what we're looking for, but it's definitely a good way to start off the hunt. Exciting to hear them bugling. They haven't been talking very much, so it's nice to hear them, and we're gonna keep hunting and hopefully we'll find a bigger one and get a stock up on one. It was a warm morning and the elk weren't moving a whole lot, so we decided to set up a few spy point trail cameras and build some blinds. Well, we're just setting up a couple spy point trail cameras in some spots where these elk are crossing so we know what's in the area. We're starting to elk hunt now. I got my antelope out of the way, so hopefully we'll see some big elk on one of our spy points. These branches in here are all rubbed up. So hopefully we can find the elk that's been hanging out in here, because whoever did this has got to have something. We spent most of the day setting up blinds and trail cameras, and the warm temperatures kept the elk from moving a whole lot that night. The next morning, a cold front moves in and we get a close encounter with a bull. Don't go anywhere, Big Boys TV will be right back.
This segment brought to you by Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
It's our second morning elk hunting in Nevada. We're still looking for a mature bull to go after, and we're hoping we find one this morning. We're out here this morning just glassing for elk, trying to find a decent bull that we can go after. We were in here last night and we could hear him bugling. We saw a few different bulls. One in particular seemed pretty nice to me anyway. But we're probably just gonna keep glassing and find a nice bull and try to go after him. I'm ready. I am very excited to get my PSE and hopefully get a big bull.
What are you doing, Rick?
Hey, I think it's a bull I was watching in here last year. I call him the Mammoth Bull. He's about 52 to 54 inches wide, real heavy. I'm hoping it's him.
This bull was worth going after, so we gathered up our gear and headed up the mountain. The bull started to push the cows up the mountain, so we went around them and just waited for him to come by us. there's swallows and some water. We're just waiting for them to come up this way. It's really warm, so they're probably hanging out down there because it's a little cooler, but we're gonna get set up where they should be traveling up the side of this here mountain, so hopefully he comes this way.
We got set up and we could see the bull on the other ridge moving our way. It didn't take long and we saw antlers coming over the ridge and he was coming right to us. But unfortunately, it wasn't the bull we were after. It was a decent 6x5. He came to about 60 yards just screaming his head off.
That was so exciting. That's the most excitement we've had yet. We had just a small bull. Well, it looks pretty nice at 50 yards, but a pretty small bull come out and just bugling like crazy. That was exciting. Then we had this cow only like 15 yards behind us. Thought she was gonna bark, but ended up just keep walking off. But we were hoping that the big bull that we've been watching was gonna come up this way, but I don't know what he did. Must have went a different way. That was so exciting though. Seeing him at 60 yards. Seeing an elk at 60 yards. Bugling, and that's just so exciting. This is like what we live for.
When we return, we jump forward to my last day where things start to get pretty intense. You won't want to miss this. Big Boys TV will be right back.
Hunter Safety System introduces the Limus Shield, the first ever scent control harness.
Welcome back. When we left, I passed up on a 6x5 bull that was about 60 yards away. Now we're going to jump forward to my last day where things start to get really exciting.
We just actually stumbled upon 3 different nice sized bulls, so we're probably gonna try to sneak their way and try to stay downwind of them and see if we can stick one on our last night here in Nevada. We've got a really nice bull down below us rubbing on some aspen trees, so we're gonna go down there and see if we can sneak up on him.
We got set up, Rick started calling, and within seconds this bull was right on top of us. Unfortunately, I had the wrong range and I shot over his back. The bull ran off and we decided to regroup and see if we could get on one of the other bulls that were in the area. We start working our way towards this bull, and Rick starts calling, and it's coming right at us, and we had no cover, so we just had to stand still and hope for the best. And he's coming straight downwind of us, so if I was going to make a shot, I had to make it quick. And as soon as I draw, he catches our wind and takes off. That was our last chance that night. It's a terrible feeling to miss an elk and have 2 opportunities within 10 minutes and they both go wrong. But that's why they call it hunting. Not every hunt ends in success. We flew back home, and the day we returned was opening day of the elk season in Michigan. This is my dad's favorite time of year, and there was no better way to start it off than with Don. My dad sits down with Don to hear his story and to learn how he got his once-in-a-lifetime tag.
Well, today we're with Don Moore. He is from Clare, Michigan. He called me about a week ago or so, and he got a Michigan elk tag for a cow. And so I said, absolutely, I'll take you out. Don has some issues with his health, and so that's how he was allowed to get this tag. I'm assuming somebody donated that tag?
Yes, gentleman from the Detroit area.
Right.
This hunt was probably going to be my last elk hunt.
Right.
Last year I was going through some pretty bad chemo.
Oh, yeah. No, you're good. Oh, yeah. No, that's, this means a lot. My dad died of cancer, My dad, I went through it for 2 years with my dad. And so that's why this means more to us than you can imagine, Because I lost him to pancreatic cancer, and I saw everything that he went through.
Yeah. I was going to say, last year, a good friend of mine in Wyoming flew from Wyoming
to see you,
drive me back out to Wyoming.
Right.
And then I elk hunted.
Yeah.
It was in elk camp. And then he drove me back to Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really...
That's true friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's why when you called me, some of you may not know, but I have a bull tag, and I said, this means more to me to get you your cow, because our days are always numbered, and we never know what that day is. I'm healthy right now, but it was more important for me to put that on hold and to make sure that we went out and made this hunt successful and make this memorable. And so that's, I think that's why Austin, our producer, wanted to know what this hunt meant to you,
A lot.
Yeah. And so,
this, it's, like I say, it'd probably be my last elk hunt, because I'll never draw another Michigan tag.
Right.
If I go out west again, it'll be just to go to the elk camp or whatever. If that ever happens, I don't know.
Right. We're only on this earth for a short amount of time. Time goes by so fast. And, to be able to have this and to share it with your family someday is I think, is going to be important to them.
Oh, yeah. My family supports me.
Oh, yeah.
Greatly, yeah.
Yeah, it's really,
Big time.
And I feel privileged, Austin and Jada and I, to be able to share this hunt with you and to do this with you, because this is really what it's all about, is the tradition and something that you've loved your whole life, to be able to do it, through the entire way,
Don't go anywhere. When we return, Don goes after his Michigan elk. This segment is brought to you by Whitetail Institute. Research equals results. If you're just joining us, we just finished up my archery elk hunt in Nevada, where I was unsuccessful. Now we're back in our home state of Michigan, guiding Don, our first elk hunter of the year.
It's the first morning here for the Michigan elk hunt. We've got Don with us this morning, and my dad is also going to be carrying his Carbonair. So Don is a cow hunter, and we were in here last night, and there's a bunch of cows, so we should be able to make something happen this morning.
Yes, I am.
That should be in your range, eh? Yeah. 149. There's one right down here in the swamp. Go watch that one. Yes, sir. Oh, yes. She's out right now. I can see that first one. That first one that just stepped out of mine.
That one that's right there.
You got the front one if you want.
Yeah, take that front. Yep. Right through the shoulders. Good shot. Good job.
I'll take the luck over skillet.
Now that was the skill. Don Moore called me, gosh, just about a week ago and asked if we could take him out. And I said, I think we can get it done. And I was hoping to get it done a little quicker. But we had to actually walk like 200 yards to get to them, or else we would have been able to take it a little quicker. But it was the best I could do, Don.
That's. Guess I didn't need my rain gear.
No, we didn't. That's a really big cow.
That is a really big cow. Congratulations, Don.
Thank
Oh, this is a beautiful, beautiful animal. Don was such a great guy, and to see him shoot this cow on the first day of the hunt was very special.
He brought cookies.
Is that the
Kevin said we were going to be in a blind.
We were supposed to get. That's all the time we have this week, but make sure and tune in next week where my dad goes after his once-in-a-lifetime Michigan bull. As always, keep in touch with us on Facebook, Instagram, and BigBoysTV.com. We just winged it, honestly. Where we start I almost had it. On Facebook, Instagram, and BigBoysTV.com. I did it.